Jayadhari Ma, I welcome our audience. Sir, very, very welcome. Satish sir, thank you so much. आप हमें ये समय दे रहे हैं. Very, a lot of gratitude to you, sir. Ajay sir, very welcome. Praveen sir, very welcome. Mami, a lot of gratitude to you. हम अपने बच्चों के साथ हर पल नहीं हो सकते. इमोशनली हम अपने बच्चों के साथ हर पल हो सकते और एक काम और कर सकते हैं, क्योंकि आज मीडिया के बारे में चर्चा होगी. We can help them strengthen their power of choice, help them build a very well balanced power of choice. मम्मी आप आए, आप सर को प्रोग्राम के बारे में बताइए जी. We start the program.
No, thank you, Ajay, for introducing us to Satish ji. Very, very grateful. Thank you, Ajay.
Thank you.
We know there's a lot of value addition in having our Director General Doordarshan with us, Prasar Bharati. It's the first time I think we're going to have such top level service person in service of the government of India as part of the parenting program today. And that's very good. So, Ajay, would you like to tell us what made you bring Mr. Satish Nambudiripad on this program? Because I believe you have a special reason.
Yeah, actually, ma'am, no, we know each other. Satish ji and me are connected for some time now, and I met him last month, I think, in Delhi. We reconnected. He's an ardent fan of Hindustani classical music. He's a great parent, and when I also communicated about mindful parenting and our monthly discussions online, he himself was kind enough to accept my invitation to join us. And maybe who knows, one day he will also show interest to showcase this in Doordarshan as a program. I think that's what is the most required thing. Parenting, which is today taken very lightly, not just in India, across the globe.
So thank you so much, Mr. Nambudiripad, that you spared your very valuable time. Doordarshan is the most treasured communication mirror for the rest of the country, and with so many languages all over the country. In fact, it's truly a national network. So here we are. Satishji, tell us about would you like to feel to talk about parenting in this program? This program is very old. It's pretty old now. It's pretty senior. Many years ago, it started with Dr. Ajay Kumar's book, Mindful Parenting. That's where we all got the tick off and saying, why don't we translate his book into a channel? And that's how parenting channel, this program came about. So that was the trigger, mindful parenting. So back to you, Satish ji.
Thank you. Thank you very much for this wonderful invitation. Dr. Ajay Kumar, when he mentioned, I was not very clear as to what is it. Even now, I'm not very clear as to what do you talk about, because regarding the program format, etc., one is only trying to get the whole information, etc. And as far as I am concerned, I know that this has been going on for such a long time. When I was just going through the list of people I've been totally humbled by even getting an entry to that kind of a huge galaxy of people who had already discussed with it. So, of course, I'm not a psychologist or a teacher or a psychoanalyst or something. So I am not very sure as to what is expected of me, the role of Doordarshan in that, or about a general talk kind of a thing about parenting, the problems. And of course, I'll definitely come to the problem of media. But before that, I would like to, if I have 7 minutes to set the context, the way I look at it, parenting or parents or the whole concept I think, ma'am, you will know that she has been a very senior bureaucrat, etc. In the government, we always say that the three sets of people that we can't choose are the boss, the neighbor, and the parents. It is very often we very often say that, especially in the context of this bosses. But I think nowadays she will also probably she will also probably agree with me that with the right kind of with the political connection, etc. Probably you can choose, or you can decide change your bosses. And if you have a lot of money, probably you can change the locality, your neighbors also, by frequently changing the locality. But as far as parents are concerned, let us be very clear that this is a non-negotiable or not changeable kind of a set of entity. The statement also, I would like to look at it in 2-3 levels. The statement that parents cannot be changed or chosen. Especially the word, I would like to give importance to the word chosen. I think it has got much deeper meaning. First is a very literal kind of a meaning, which says that you can't choose them. Means that there are things which are not in your hands. That is the first and foremost thing. You have to take it the way it has been given to you. Secondly, probably, especially in the Indian context, the theory of karma, theory of destiny, etc., coming. And of course, probably an American citizen, US, or a person in Finland, somebody in Finland, or even in Africa, may not agree with this theory of karma and destiny theory, etc. I also personally feel that the Vedas probably didn't talk about this. It is only from the Gita time onwards it went into our Indian larger spirituality, became more of a religiosity kind of a thing. Anyway, that is another topic of discussion at all. The spirituality becoming slightly religiosity kind of a thing. That is the second. But what is most important for today's discussion, the context of the discussion of the day, is that parents decide the most important or substantive of our identities. That is the most important identity, which is inherited. Ma'am, you'll know that there are two kinds of identity. One is the inherited, the sanchitam, and the arjitam, which is the acquired kind of a thing. As far as the inherited identity is concerned, family is the fulcrum on which entire identity stands. Then it goes to, in any context, the caste or creed or class, and whatever in the foreign, the mohalla concept, where whether you're on the Potter Street or you're from the Vanik Street. Language, very important. And then comes to nationality, statehood, the fights between the states, etc. All of them are connected to the one entity called parents, or the birth. I would like to call it an accident of birth. It is a most decisive factor also as far as our identity is concerned. Everything else depends on that. And then if this is the inherited, then acquired, of course, is your studies, your arjitam, the education. Which college did you go to? Which is what is the job? The IAS versus IPS, that kind of a thing. And college, and then as a migrant Malayali being in Delhi, that is again a Delite Malayali, or a Indian in US. So whatever, all these engineers versus doctors, etc. They're all, you can call them under the acquired identity of a people also. But let us understand that why it is important from the parenting segment is that if you look at, ma'am, that the world over, all the fights, all the major wars, all your outlooks, they are all decided on which the human beings, the human race fight with each other. They're all born out of this issue of accident of birth. There had never been a 1,000-year-old war between an IPS and an IAS officer. Of course, there are some small internecine fights, you all know it, but it is or an advocate versus a lawyer. Whereas it is not the case with a Christian and the Muslims. And another issue is that it is this inherent think this inherited identity, which only very few people are in a position to outgrow also. There are people who have been able to, but ultimately a Goan Christian remains a Goan Christian, throughout us, or a Bihari Kayastha, or a Malayali Brahmin, or Malayali Muslim, or anything, so the why is it very important from the perspective of parenting is that the concept of accident of birth, and the other one I call it the attribute of time. You have been a police officer, you have been the first IPS officer, and I happen to be. These are all attributes of time. It is only very, 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 very limited in time. And in a larger perspective, if both these things a human being has the larger understanding that, look, we are fighting on issues which are entirely born out of an accident of birth, and then all your egos are on an attributes of time. I think this world will be different. I think this is the most important issue of parenting. I consider.
Yeah. Let me allow me to go to your.
I'm through with my first portion. That is.
Yeah, that's right. Allow me to come to your core value, core strength, which is very rare for the Indian viewer now to have Director General Doordarshan on this YouTube channel to share with us the role of the media and the television in parenting. Are you focusing on these programs? Do you have an eye on them? Or in the future, would you like to consider how to evolve this kind of program on our Doordarshan? Because yours is a very large reach, all languages, and particularly in the rural areas, parents would benefit को अपने बच्चों को कैसे संभालें, बड़े हो रहे हैं, पुराने जमाने के थे, अब नया जमाना है. So can Doordarshan play a wonderful role? So the kind of role now Doordarshan can play with your leadership in place.
Taken, ma'am. It is fine. As far as, let us understand Doordarshan the way it is. It was quite, the entire generation grew up on Doordarshan because it was, it is considered the Desh ka pehla channel, Desh ka apna channel kind of a thing. And the world over, these kinds of radios, all India, the radio broadcasting, Doordarshan kind of a broadcasting, etc. They have all been supported by the governments of the day because they are very, very, very what they call infrastructure or capital intensive kind of an infrastructure. So till from 59 in the 20s, etc., all the radio came into being. The war and the Britishers started because of, and then 59 Doordarshan came into being, and by 65 it started doing the telecast in a major way. It took 5-6 years for it to stabilize. For initially it was, then by 75 it went into larger number of metropolises, etc. 82, you would remember, it became color, Mrs. Gandhi's first independence address, and the 84, her death, if you recall, that is a time when the color television purchase also became, until 92, 93, 94, etc. So nearly 45 years, Doordarshan was the single player in this country. So let us understand that so it's a legacy kind of a thing. And then whenever nowadays people think that, compare and contrast without knowing the fact that, look, that was a time Doordarshan operated in a time when it was entirely exclusive. It was a monopolistic kind of a market. Currently, Doordarshan in India is one of the 916 or 900 plus channels. There are 900 plus channels which have been given the uplinking and downlinking rights by the government, and we are just one of them. There are so many 400 odd news channels and so many other channels, etc. So, but still, as far as the reach is concerned, we are still the biggest, and as you mentioned, in all the region, rural areas, etc. The free dish, which is the free dish or the direct to home DTH channel, we have got something known as 63 million. That is 6.3 million households are there. So our ability to reach across to people is, so there are two things. One is the program generation, content generation, may not be, I mean, let us understand that government or government institutions may not be the best as far as content generation is concerned. I mean, we will not be able to compete with the private sector who can spend a lot of money. And then now again, the issues of the what kind of a content they are generating, that is an entirely separate discussion altogether. But as far as reaching across to people, we are still the market leader. We are the best. So probably we should think of an area, a combined or combination of approach wherein sensible people generate content and Doordarshan takes it to the people. Because I mean, our ability to generate content is difficult. I mean, it is somewhat different. I mean, being the government, it is not the core competency. The what do you call the creative issues, and government still works on a lot of procedures, money to come, budget. The whole issue. And profit has never been the motive of the government. We are much more process driven, etc. So coming back to your question, I mean, you are the saying, if somebody can generate the content which you feel is the right one, we can carry it. We are a very good market leader as a carriage. But I don't know. I mean, content generation, let it be given to some other people. That is how I look at it.
So with all my humility,
China, 1 minute. I think one idea which flows from your thinking is demonstrative learning channel, which has got now many years of experience on parenting. How does this channel and the Doordarshan, are there possibilities of a collaboration where we do this program every month? Just as you were identified and searched out by Ajay, can we look at possibilities of collaborating? So while demonstrative learning finds the right kind of speakers for you, and we do a town hall for the listeners, town hall on parenting. I've not seen a program like that, but we do a town hall. Just as you are the speaker today, we identify some of the best speakers on parenting. That's what this program content is about. And all our earlier channels is already in this. So we find the best speaker, and that is how we could put a program, demonstrative learning channel, helps you, works with you, collaborates with you, with Doordarshan to do this town hall. Town hall means we get parents. We get parents from English and all languages, right? Or at least Hindi and English. And we do a parenting program as a town hall where good practices are shared. So good practices could be shared, that where वो से मेरे प्रॉब्लम आती थी, मैंने बच्चों को दूरदर्शन से कैसे हटाया from too much of screen time. So sharing good practices where it's learning each other. We could probably do a 40-minute program. I think we could think about this because demonstrative learning's got this experience and expertise, and that it does its homework in searching the best speaker. Think about it. Can we work this out? Maybe Ajay and Saina and team can work together with you.
We can definitely think of it, ma'am. I mean, it's a very brilliant idea. As I mentioned, content generation, if something can be taken care of by people, I think slowly we'll have to move to that kind of a thing. We'll have to collaborate with people who are on various issues, topics, etc. I personally feel that, as a national channel, our concern should be much more, less on the commercials, etc. There are areas where government should concentrate. One is, these kinds of, character building kind of a thing. Number two, the preservation of tangible, intangible assets of the country. That is the culture of the country. Number three, the Kisan. The agriculture is a major. We do have a Kisan channel. And number four, recording, archiving of the country's progress from time to time. We will do all the national channel, all the state channels, etc. Whatever is happening in the country, simply record it. Roads are being built, the social transformation, cultural transformation, the transformational issues, urbanization, urbanization, and the underbelly of that. How policies need to be changed. For example, the parenting issues also, how things, all these things can be the forte of if not anything, at least as recording. Record it, keep it, archive it, so that 10 years from now, when all of us are gone, they'll be able to go back to it. It can serve as a Logan's manual kind of a thing, At least people can see it, and there will be some proper. So I think these are areas where the government channels will have to slowly move in. But it is It is only my personal position. Ma'am, I mean, the in these kinds of issues, of course, the people at the helm of affairs, at least the leadership is important, but there are larger, the decision making in the government is not limited only at the level of the director general. That. It goes beyond
Yes,
that level also. Yeah.
sir, we have recorded episodes of this program. We have about 26 episodes, so we can share them with your team.
Yeah.
Sir, but sensing what you're saying, sir, I have a thought. सर जैसे खाने में टेस्ट बड्स होते हैं सबके डेवलप हो गए, these are my taste buds. I am now trying to sense what are the content buds of our youngsters. How we have taste buds, there are content buds. Now I'm wondering, sir, is it the consumer asking for what we are giving them, or what we are giving them is being consumed by them? Where is it? Because the program has to be interesting also. It has to be entertaining. It has to be engaging. Now, how do we balance this, sir? Because you are talking about the right content reaching you. I see that as a concern. I see that as a concern in what the thoughts you're sharing. What do you think, sir?
It's. I mean, your question is very important. Whether are we giving it to the people the way they want, or what we give people are. I mean, it is being shared. I mean, the people's tastes are being shared by this.
Yeah.
I think. it is I mean, the larger perspective itself. I think it is a world, a time which is deciding things. I mean, we also, knowingly or unknowingly, we also get sucked into, consumed by the dictates of the time. Mild changes, slight. I mean, I can see the Mr. Praveen Parameshwar. I saw him. He's a life. I mean, in what do you call it? Sorry, now I can't see his designation. These are analysts or life, I mean, experts or whatever. I mean, I'm sure that he would have. He's a psychologist or psychoanalyst or whatever he studied. I have not studied it. Mine is a very, 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 very. I mean, there are no. It's only an observations, and there are no empirical evidences. He'll be in a position to talk. I think the times are much more, the time, the column, as you say, is much more important than the individuals or small. When the whole, see, you have to understand that the genie called knowledge or knowledge transmission had definitely, or information. Forget about knowledge. Information transmission, which used to be the prerogative of a few, had ceased to be so.
Mm.
Initially, I mean, we all did the Vedas and the Shruti. I mean, Shruti and Smriti took. I mean, that is the case with not only Indian. I mean, in Latin or in Christian, it was always a preserve of a few. Then after some time, the paper, that is why it went by the word of mouth. That is why the importance assigned to the words, etc. The world over, man would have created language and the voice, etc. But all the religions attributed to God. We also said Om. And Christians also said that in the beginning was sound, etc., etc. So somehow we I mean, the world over, human beings, even though human beings have started voice, it is not God who came and told us. Let us be very frank about it. And through some guttural sounds, etc. So, but we attribute it. From that kind of a preserve, then in papyrus, etc., we started writing it on a piece of paper. Then so many years later, in the 14th century, John Gutenberg came with a printing press. It became further Then again, 600 years, nothing happened. I mean, some typewriter, etc., etc. But in the last 60, 70 years, 4 things happened which totally revolutionized the whole thing. Initially, the computer, then the internet, then the mobile phone and the mobile telephonium, the marrying of all these things. Now the content it carries has become one. Content, that is precisely the importance of this era. The content and carriage has become one, and everybody can, whatever you think, even before you think, you can start talking. So the deconstruction, or I call it de-Brahmanization of knowledge transmission. That is the terminology I use it, because it used to be not the Brahmin, the Boston Brahmins kind of a thing. It is always a preserve of a few, or democratization of knowledge transmission. With that in this, I think it is no more anybody to decide what is to be given. I don't think it will be. This will be foolish on our part to think that. Let me connect it with the whole idea of parenting also. I thought that we'll be discussing something about parenting. See, you have all been parents. I've also been a parent. I've been here. I've all been sibling, and we have all been children as well as parents. Over a period of time. Where is it that if parenting is all so important, all the children would have been good, all the children would have been. Where is a unity, or where is a uniformity? In a family of 5 people, 5 children, 5 of them are different. And can you blame the parents for that? So the diversity is the hallmark of human beings. For that matter, diversity is the hallmark of nature. So if that is the case, and otherwise the two sisters cannot be, one cannot be a dancer and the other cannot be a singer, or one can, no matter discipline, or even honesty, or even methodical behavior. This is, parents may have it, children may not have it. One child may have, another may not have it. So I don't think it is a question of our giving the right content. It is what all these content are available, and it is the interest of the people. They use it. I'm not prescriptive in this. I cannot be prescriptive in this format. That is how I look at it. That's it.
Yes, sir. We appreciate, sir. Ajay, sir, please, would you share your thoughts, please?
Yeah. Satish ji, of course, it's truly a privilege to have you with us today. Your journey of over 3 decades in public communication, policy, and media governance has deeply impactful. When we speak about mindful parenting today, I feel it's impossible to ignore the influence of media on our children and families. Media, much like parenting, carries an enormous responsibility not just to inform, but to shape thought, behavior, and values. When we look at Doordarshan as a public service broadcaster, it stands apart from private media. While private channels often cater to popular demand and TRP driven content, Doordarshan has historically played a more protective and responsible role, conveying messages, educating citizens, and acting almost like a social CSR initiative. It does not manufacture noise, it communicates meaning. This makes me draw a parallel with parenting. As parents, we constantly struggle with a similar question: do we give children absolute freedom, or do we consciously guide and filter their exposure? From your perspective, how do you see the role of responsible media, balancing freedom of choice with responsibility? And how can parents learn from this approach while guiding their children in today's content saturated world? Over to you.
Extremely important question. There is no, I'm not prescribing any answers, etc., replies, etc. See, one major problem nowadays is, Doordarshan carries a couple of programs on the cyber issues, cyber crime, cyber world, etc. More than the what you call linear television, which is satellite televisions, which are large in number, etc. I mentioned about the content and carriage becoming one, the handheld devices. that it is this digital world which is creating much more problems, especially for the youngsters also. It is less on the TV. There may be programs, etc. Even then, people can watch. I mean, the minute, because it is called appointment viewing. Satellite is all about appointment viewing because it is only a particular time that if there is a 6 o'clock soap opera or a family drama, it can happen only at 6 o'clock, and it cannot. I mean, it starts at 6 o'clock. It is over at 6:30 or 7 o'clock or whatever, and then you have to wait till next day 6 o'clock for that thing to reappear. So it is called, that is why it is called an appointment viewing kind of a thing. So that, I mean, the family can see it. If somebody is watching it, somebody can go back and stand behind and see whether it is. That is not the case with the digital medium. Digital medium is entirely time agnostic. It is also platform agnostic. You don't need a TV to watch a digital medium. And the problems of this deep web, etc., are very, very prevalent in this digital medium. I think so. What we have to be more concerned about as parents, especially, and such cases are coming up. I've got a friend. I think I mean, next time, since this is a major issue, I'll connect you with a person who has been working. His name is, Amit Dubey, who is doing a lot of work with police people, etc., on the problems of the web, that is, and the influence that it is having on children also. He was coming and telling us about cases where very senior officers, children, 13-year-old boys, 14-year-old, kids, girls, etc., the behavioral problems. 13-year-old, recently there was a case where, a very senior officer, I don't want to disclose more details, etc. In a comment, a 13-year-old kid beating his father, who's a very, very, very senior position in one of the, and all because of trying to control the time he's spending on TV, etc. Such cases are coming. There are cases where girls in 60s, Kerala, it had come even in Kerala, etc. In fits of rage, stabbing their mothers with a kitchen knife when she asked them to a mobile phone was pulled away from her house, from her hands or something, or even by stopping the Wi-Fi in the house. So the problem is less of TV, etc., It is entirely of the digital world that one needs to be very concerned, because at a very short, you would have seen, even 2-year-old, 1.5 years old onwards, or 1-year-old onwards, that the children are getting exposed to the phones. The mothers, the first thing that they cry that they hand over is a phone, and the child is happy, and the entire reels are the social medias. A 1-year-old kid trying to, you would have seen these kinds of things. They behave like, clicking for a selfie or trying to negotiate a phone, etc., We think that it is a very, very cute thing, and it is a love. It's a matter to appreciate, etc. But its influence on the human mind. Now there are large number of studies are coming, and there are theories about what is it called, popcorn mindset, etc. These kinds of terminologies are coming up, popcorn brain, etc. I think what we need as a society, we need to understand, as we need to. Now the problem is that it has not even been identified as a problem. Then only we'll be. Now countries have started. There are certain countries which have started making rules that a phone cannot be used, or So I think this is going to be a much, much, much deeper problem from the media perspective than the TV or any other media.
So we feel your concern, sir. We sense it, and I think we're all together in this concern, sir. So I was reading a little article before we come to Praveen, sir. So Harvard has started a human flourishing program where it's like a campaign, sir. Now a big university like Harvard is doing this. They sense the need. Can't media houses collaborate and start a program? Can't they collaborate on this? Because this is for our future generations, sir. Ji, sir.
So we can have Praveen look at anything he wants to.
Praveen ji,
Yeah,
you would like
question. I think the question is addressed to Praveen, and so that is why I didn't. Yeah. Yeah.
जी प्रवीण सर आप बात करें जी जी
Oh, you asked the question to me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
जी,
Okay,
and then we
okay.
can take this
So
forward.
I think about the media houses. So I firmly believe, like so most of the media houses, especially private media houses, largely work as a commercial entity, and they would be focusing more on things which is increasing their profitability and making some good change in the balance sheet. So if such kind of programs, so I firmly believe ideally we can talk a lot of other, I mean, these kind of aspects, but the channels or the media would be, the private media would be mostly interested only if this kind of programs can be supported by big corporate houses who are having their own interest in this topic. And once they come in their own interest, so they would be having their own interest to support as well. So I think it's a tricky situation, but I think whether it should happen, yes, it should happen. Whether can we expect it to happen, I think we wish it should be there, but how far it is possible, I think there should be some brands who are super interested in coming up with these kind of things. Then naturally there is of course an interest clash between that, but Doordarshan may be in a better position than a private brand to take that up, being a very responsible organization and a nation network as well. So private channels, I do doubt how possible they are to consistently do something which may not feed them with profitability in a very regular way. That's my take on that, Sanyaman.
Ji, ji. Sir, would you like to share your thoughts, more thoughts with
I
Satish, sir?
see. I think no. I mean, what Mr. Praveen Parvez mentioned may be true. There is commercial angle as far as the corporate houses. I mean, profit motives. I mean, both what do you call private media and corporate houses, etc. Are concerned. But I think this proliferation of digital media tools and gaming apps and the kind of effects that is bringing in the entire life, social fabrics and family, etc. I think soon, if not very soon, if not, it'll become a major issue. So I think when the minute it becomes a major issue, I think all people will have to come together. So they even of course they will find some commercial angle to that also, but it is going to affect the social fabrics in a major way, because the whole thing is because of the family is becoming totally, I mean, nucleus kind of a system. No, I mean, that was not the case. The concept of a larger family, the social security network, and the social security in by human relationship and people there, chacha nani, I mean, a larger house, or they are not there, everybody is finding to, and so slowly, no, it otherwise it is fine if this also is taking a toll on the institution. It has started, and the modern, it has started taking a toll on the institution called marriage, what they call marriage, the institution called the family. They are also having but it becomes a problem in the intervening period, when things have totally become, I mean, if the institution called marriage also stops and the family stops, then there'll be I mean, I can't say that the number of progenies will be less, because it is, I mean, you don't need a family to procreate, because even otherwise you can do that. But then the number would be less, definitely, because the network which is required to raise people, even a husband and wife, two people to share the burden in the form of I mean, even as the co live, I mean, living partners, etc., will be less. So then after some time it'll even out. But that will all take a long time, because it is affecting only a certain segment of society. There are large number of societies there also, and the world, I mean, the advanced countries, where the number of, I mean, youngsters versus elderly people are, I mean, the numbers, the demographic changes, it is slowly coming to India also. Here also we may think that we are a highly populous country, but here also our population growth is definitely diminishing. And in the next 30 years time, whatever advantage we are having, it is coming to an end. China is already passing through it. So all these are larger issues, and but the problem would be the intervening period where these kinds of, the children, the social, behavioral aspects, it is getting affected. Parents have the bondage within the bond within the family, or not bondage, sorry, the social bonding within the family relationship, etc., getting affected, and people more, youngsters more and more becoming recluse, etc. So those kinds of issues are major concerns. One need to, one need to address it. First, the country will have to identify that this is a problem. Then only we'll start. Now it has not even been identified as a problem. I think it'll start coming in soon. In the next 1 or 2 years' time, people will start writing it, and the government will also identify it as a major problem, and then the measures. But the problem is that by the time a lot of time is already lost. We are always, as a system, we are always reactive. We are never proactive or prospective looking. That is another problem. That's it.
Is the Doordarshan, before we close, because I believe we have to close earlier, for your thing you needed to leave, maybe as a little last question, any message from Doordarshan? Are you strategizing anything? Are you concerned, or any new strategies or programs you have in mind, Mr. Nambudiripad?
Yeah, that's right, ma'am. This social media, or the new media, or the digital era, and also these kinds of issues. We do have a couple of programs. We are doing it, but connecting it with parenting, etc. It's a new concept. I should say that I have also not thought of it in a major way, but this session had helped me also to think of it in a much more deeper level. I'll definitely. I think it's a growing. It's a matter of great concern. It is a matter of great concern these days. But I'm not concerned. Yeah.
Carry on, sir. Carry on.
No. But what I'm saying is that social parenting as such is less of a problem, in the sense, we are. We are, but it has to be issue based. It has to be issue based, and generalizing the whole problem, because children need to be. That I don't know how far. I have my own. I have not been properly initiated into this issue. That could be one reason. But otherwise, I think parenting as a general topic should not be our concern. We are slightly becoming over cautious. I don't know. We can debate on that matter, because we think that the children. Nowadays the parenting there are concerns. Initially, it was not there, and I don't. It has to be much more issue based. It has to be much more issue based, not as, because some of these things, and the concept as a parenting as as a problem area has also become, as I mentioned, because of the nucleus kind of a thing, and the sense of guilt that these parents are. They think that they are not spending much time with their children, etc., and that emotional void they try to compensate with some kind of a material gifts, and those kinds of issues are all, I think it is they are less important than. And also the feeling that the children nowadays is they are less guided than the children of the earlier generation. I don't agree with it. I think we are making it a bit I don't believe in that kind of, and the parenting as a nowadays, it is a matter of great concern. You have to do that, and too much of a psychology based parenting concern. I personally, I don't agree with it. If I can be converted, I want to give a small story. That is what I thought. That there is that the Ayurveda and teach not Ayurveda, the yoga teachers, etc. The marma is the vital points in body. So somebody who knows all the vital points in body, etc. So they know they can. There are 72 marmas in a body, etc. So somebody he's very good, and he looks at people all only as a marma point. So he saw a cow or something charging at him, and he could not touch it, because every place on that cow is a marmam for him. He touches it, cow will have. So the cow was charging at him, and his friend, he just picked up a stick and gave it a good beating, and cow went away. And he said that how could he beat him exactly at a point where there is no marma? I think this parenting concern is also something like this. We feel that nowadays the parenting is a very major issue, because we have too much of emotionalizing it. I think we do, and I'm born 60 years back. Madam may be slightly older, and we are all of different age group. And and what is the kind of parenting we all had, we know. And it is, and with some changes, and it was not the best in those days. It is not going to be best in. I think that kind of a larger understanding, we need not emotionalize it, but issue based, of course, is definitely is. We have to identify digital medias, and because it's all in privacy, and at a very young age, people people who are at a very impressionable age. So it is something like, the way POSCO related issues, or those kinds of, wherever the good touch and bad touch kind of a concept. So similarly, this digital media, and because everybody having a phone, and phone throwing them out into a larger world where, and that access issues, etc. That is a big problem. Big problem. I don't know whether it is only about parenting or it is a larger issue. That is, we can debate and come to. Thank you, ma'am. But it is great talking to you, and it's
Thank
great.
you for sparing such a valuable hour of yours. Your every
that's
minute means a lot. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you,
Thank
sir.
you.
Thank you for being with us.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. A lot of gratitude to you. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, ma'am. I'll be in touch.
Thank you.
Thank you.